Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video on my channel. One of the most important aspects of husbandry for your reptiles and amphibians is keeping your reptiles hydrated. And while cleaning water bowls and filling them back up with water might seem like a really simple thing, and it is, it's really important to do that often and do it right. Taking care of everyone's needs for water has just become part of my regular morning routine. So today I'm going to bring you along with me while I water everyone in the reptile room and talk about some important things to keep in mind when it comes to watering your animals. Aside from cleaning glass, changing everyone's water is probably one of the most tedious and time-consuming chores in the reptile room. The first thing I do is go around the room and collect all the water bowls in a bucket. And then I take them all into the kitchen sink and put them in some very hot soapy water. And I let them soak in the very hot water while I go back and mist all of the enclosures. One of the most important things you need to do for your reptiles and amphibians is do the proper research on whatever species you're caring for and know how it drinks. Some animals, like anoles and many species of geckos, don't drink from a water bowl, but lap droplets of water off of leaves and the sides of their enclosures. And many types of frogs absorb the water they need through their skin. If that's the case for the species you're keeping, then it's really important to mist the enclosure a couple of times a day to make sure that they're getting enough to drink. I don't even put a water bowl in the enclosures for my anoles or my day gecko because they don't use it, and it just becomes a receptacle for crickets to drown in. It took me a while to get used to that, but those species that drink this way have evolved to survive on smaller amounts of water. So you can use a number of different things to mist your enclosures. I've tried automatic misters before, but found that they weren't really for me. They end up being another thing to plug in, and you have a lot of tubing everywhere. Plus, they can be a little bit noisy. So I prefer to just mist the enclosures myself. If you have only one vivarium to mist down, then a simple spray bottle will do. There is a mister from ZooMed that's good and holds about a quart of water. It makes a pretty fine mist and works well. Or if you have several vivariums to mist down every day, you can get a more heavy-duty mister that holds 2 or 3 gallons at a time. Those are easy to find at any garden center in your local hardware store. So now that I have the misting out of the way, I go back to the kitchen sink and scrub and rinse the water bowls that I left soaking. With species that do drink from water bowls, I think it should go without saying that it's really important to keep their water bowls clean and filled with fresh, clean water at all times. One thing I remind myself all the time is that water bowl is this animal's only source of water. So I try to clean all of my animals' water bowls and fill them up with fresh water every day. I think that cleaning the water bowls and changing the water is an easy thing to procrastinate on. So make a good habit of changing the water every day. So what water should you use? Amphibians, like frogs and salamanders, absorb everything, including the water they need, through their skin. So you definitely don't want to use tap water for them. You also shouldn't use distilled water for amphibians. Distilled water has had all of the trace minerals removed from the water, and absorbing those minerals along with the water is important to an amphibian's health. So you can use tap water that's been treated with a water conditioner like Reptisafe. That removes the chlorine. Many people use that, and while there's nothing wrong with that, I've never liked the idea of adding one chemical to remove another. Ask yourself, if that was your only source of water to drink, would you personally want to drink only water that's been treated with Reptisafe? I personally would say no, so I just stick to using bottled spring water. In my reptile room, I go through about 8 to 10 gallon bottles of spring water every week. And while that's an added expense, I think it's the best choice for the health of my animals. So all of the water bowls are back in place and filled with fresh, clean water. I know the animals appreciate it because they often go straight into the water bowls for a soak after I freshen them up. For some of them, like my boa constrictor Ray, the water bowl becomes their bathroom and they often poop in it, which is another reason to clean them daily. So to recap is pretty simple. Water is important for your reptiles, so try to clean the water bowls and fill them with fresh, pure, clean water every day, and your reptiles will appreciate you for it. Try to make it part of your daily routine for caring for your reptile. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for spending the time with me while I took care of this chore in my reptile room. I hope you found it useful. And as always, until the next video, I look forward to seeing you again soon.